Yo ho ho, Down Mafia. Welcome to another daily edition of the Down Mafia Report. And you know what, guys? That sounds really weird to say. Let's just say that I've been working my ass off to make sure that I drop a daily video so you are fully informed on what the hell is going on during Buffalo Bills training camp. So if you don't mind, do me a little favor and smash the out of that like button. Down Mafia. So we certainly have a lot of things to cover. The Buffalo Bills players were in full force today, especially after we had that bogus false positive scenario happen with the COVID testing and the New Jersey lab, which clearly has a bunch of alcoholics working at it. And there was several storylines that came out today. Not only Josh Allen's performance, the continued success of Gabe Davis, our defensive line, much more, and we are going to dive into that in detail. However, I want to give one giant announcement before we dive into that. As you guys know, me and Aaron Williams, former safety of the Buffalo Bills, are starting our very own podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. We're recording tomorrow, and we are dropping it late Tuesday night, so you should be ready to listen to it on your morning drive to work on Wednesday morning. However, we want to make this episode about you guys. So I put something in my community tab on my YouTube channel, and we want you guys to drop any question you want. Whether or not that you want to figure out what Aaron has been up to, whether or not you want to know what it was like when he played for the Buffalo Bills, what his comparisons are to when he played to now, maybe some questions about myself, maybe questions about the current status of the Bills. Do me a favor, hit that community post, and I promise you we will get to as many of those questions as possible. And of course, say that you want to listen to a full-fledged audio experience about the Buffalo Bills. Do me a favor, subscribe on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you consume podcast content. That was a lot. And so, all right, Down Mafia, like I said, day 7 was a bit more exciting than yesterday. Number one, because we had the players that were tested falsely positive back on the practice field, but that doesn't mean that we still didn't have some type of injuries and people that missed out today. Those players that were out were Tywan Jones. There was a knee concern there. Christian Wade with quad. Josh Norman, of course, with a hamstring. Patrick DeMarco as well. It might be difficult for Patrick DeMarco, right? Because from what I'm understanding, Richard Gilliam, the fullback that we ended up picking up during the draft, or maybe he was an undrafted free agent. I forgot. Give me a break. It sounds like Gilliam's really turning heads. So I definitely hope that DeMarco can get back healthy. If not, I mean, Gilliam might be taking his job, but so on and so forth. And then, of course, John Feliciano with his pec. We all know that he most likely won't be back until week 4, most likely week 6. And then Tommy Sweeney with his foot. Limited practices was A.J. Klein with an ankle, and then Tremaine Edmonds with his hip as well. And so the non-contact jersey once again was Robert Foster after he suffered that concussion on the first day of fully padded practices. So besides that, we had the entire team out on the field. So going into our first story, Josh Allen. Right before we dive into how he performed today, we just need to address the fact that he was rightfully so super pissed off about the entire situation of why he had to miss practice yesterday. He basically went down a story saying that he got the results saying that he was positive, and then almost immediately afterwards, he ended up taking the rapid test, and then it turned out to be negative. And as we know, the test came back and said that he never had COVID whatsoever. Josh was quoted saying that those are reps that he is never going to get back. And to be honest with you, I would be equally as frustrated. But let's just say that he did have a pretty good practice today. And so apparently he did fantastic on the 11-on-11 drills, hitting Isaiah McKenzie and Cole Beasley several times and ending the day off with a touchdown pass to John Brown. So apparently during these drills, he was fitting balls into very tight windows and showing to make strides. So several reporters said that while it wasn't a spectacular practice, if Josh can go on the field during the regular season and perform the way that he did today, not necessarily making all of those flashy plays, but being efficient, then the Bills, quote unquote, will win a lot of games. Ladies and gentlemen, that is music to your boys' ears. And so next story is definitely diving into our defensive line. And ladies and gentlemen, apparently whoever lines up under center regardless of who's lining up under center, is absolutely getting destroyed by our defensive line. And while that may not be the best thing for our offense, that just gives us a lot of things to be excited about going into the regular season. Apparently, Quentin Jefferson made a fool out of Quentin Spain, sacked Matt Barkley, showed that Brian Cox Jr. and AJ Epinesa were consistently winning their pass rush battles, which is definitely going to be fantastic. Now, we all understood during the offseason, some people were concerned that we let Jordan Phillips and Shaq Lawson walk away. But from what people are saying of how the Buffalo Bills defensive line is performing so far this year, it sounds like we have absolutely nothing to fucking worry about. And I could not be happier. An effective defensive line is going to make our secondary lights out. It's going to make quarterbacks go crazy, make dumbass decisions, throw the football when they shouldn't. Our defense is going to be elite this year, especially since news just broke that Stefon Gilmore for the Patriots now seems to be holding out because he's pissed off about his contract. So rest in peace, the Patriots defense. And so next up is Stefon Diggs. We definitely need to catch up with our boy. Today, the scariest moment was when Stefon Diggs ended up going down with what seemed like a leg injury during 11-on-11 drills. And let's just say that it completely sucked the air out of everyone that was witnessing that practice. Thank God, Stefon Diggs ended up walking off the field, seeing a trainer. 2 plays later, he was back out in the field. You could barely tell that anything was wrong with him. Now, don't be surprised if you see Stefon Diggs get a rest day tomorrow, or you see him in a red non-contact jersey. Will most likely not be something for you to worry about, but it's just going to be a precautionary thing. We need our true wide receiver number 1 in a Bills uniform on week 1. So just a little forewarning and a prediction. And so once again, Hosh Money, Stephen Hoshka had another fantastic practice today. He went 5 for 5 on all of his field goals, and so even connected on a couple 50 yards plus. Now, like I said, it just seems like this competition seems to be swinging back and forth. When we said that we drafted Tyler Bass to light a fire under Stephen Hoshka's ass, let's just say mission accomplished. These guys are battling it out for that kicking position, and I'm really interested to see what's going on. Bass apparently did not kick today. He kicked yesterday, and as you know, he missed a couple of key field goals, and as of right now, it seems like the competition is teetering toward Hoshka, but, you know, we still have 7 more days of padded practice, so we're just going to have to see and find out. And so last but not least, I mean, this name has been consistently showing up in all Buffalo Bills reports. And so that just so happens to be Gabe Davis. Now, people are singing this dude praises for each and every single time that he takes the field. In fact, today he was lined up against Trey White, and he ended up beating Trey White on a 50-50 ball. Trey tried stripping it, it didn't work, and Gabe Davis is continuing to go out there and show that he is a presence. Sean McDermott and the coaching staff said that it says a lot about Gabe Davis's abilities when you can win a 50-50 ball against the best cornerback in the league within Trey White. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I am 110% fucking pumped to watch Gabe Davis play this year. It sounds like this guy, from what I'm understanding, is going to be a without a doubt 53-man roster lock. Don Mafia, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. Day 7 is in the books, and it looks like the Bills are slowly but surely putting all of the pieces together to go into week 1. Rest assured, a true contender. Do me a favor, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are on any of the subjects that we covered. And besides that, let's go Buffa